Elena Morris straightened the strap of her satchel as she approached the grand arched entrance of Horizon Civic Center, the city's nerve center for law, leadership, and policy. The morning sun cast long shadows over the marble steps, where suits bustled past with clipboards, earpieces, and the confident stride of people who never had to second-guess their belonging. She reached for the handle of the glass-paneled door, but before her fingers could touch it, a voice cut in. "Hold it right there." A uniformed security officer stepped forward, placing his arm across her path like a gate. He was broad, immaculately pressed in standard security blues, and wore a name tag that read Burke. His stance was firm, and his eyes scanned her from head to toe, not with caution, but with assumption. Elena blinked. "Is something wrong?" Burke didn't answer right away. His eyes flicked from her blouse and blazer to her curly hair tied back in a low bun. "Only designated personnel allowed through at the moment," he said curtly. "I have an appointment inside," she replied, her tone level. "You can check the list." He folded his arms. "You'll need to wait outside until your name is called." Elena looked past him as two men in suits walked straight through the doors without a glance from the guard. Her brow furrowed, but her voice remained steady. "You didn't stop them." Burke's mouth tugged into a dry, half-amused smile. "They're internal staff. And you know that because—" He gave a small shrug. "I've been doing this a long time. I can tell who's here for official business, and who's just walking in." There it was. Not said outright, but said all the same. She took a slow breath. "So you've decided I'm not official." "I'm enforcing protocol," he said, waving one hand toward a clipboard on a nearby stand. "If your name's there, someone will come get you." She stared at him a long moment. "I wasn't aware that protocol included profiling." That made him laugh. A shallow, dismissive sound. "Lady, you don't know what you're talking about. You can stand there all day, but it won't change the fact that—" "Is there a situation?" Another voice cut in. A second officer stepped into view. This one was older, with a softer expression and flecks of silver in his hair. His badge read Delaney. Unlike Burke, he approached Elena with something that almost resembled professionalism. Burke gestured lazily. "She's refusing to wait. Says she has an appointment." Delaney turned to Elena. "May I have your name, ma'am?" "Elena Morris." "And the reason for your visit today?" She reached into her satchel without a word, withdrawing a sleek black folder. She opened it and handed over a crisp document bearing a gold-stamped seal. Delaney's brows lifted slightly as he scanned the letter. His demeanor shifted instantly. His shoulders straightened. His face became serious. He handed the folder back with both hands. "My sincerest apologies, Ms. Morris. Please, come in." Burke's smirk vanished. "What?" he said, blinking. "Wait, who is she?" Delaney stepped aside and motioned her forward. "Ms. Elena Morris, Senior Legislative Counsel. She's here to be sworn in as the newest advisor to the city's Planning Commission." Burke's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Elena gave him a glance, a calm, unreadable expression that spoke volumes. "I mentioned you were making a mistake," she said, and stepped past. Gasps and murmurs rose from the people near the steps. Phones slid discreetly out of pockets. A few began whispering behind hands, repeating what they'd just witnessed. Inside the Civic Center, the tone was vastly different. The security check waved her through without hesitation. A young receptionist stood at the front desk and nearly sprang to her feet at the sight of her. "Ms. Morris, we've been expecting you," she said, clearly rattled. Your meeting is on the 12th floor." Elena gave a polite nod. "Thank you. Would you like someone to escort you?" "That won't be necessary," she replied smoothly, moving past with purpose. As she stepped into the elevator, the whispers behind her continued. She could feel the ripple effect of the scene unfolding, an entire building already buzzing with the moment one man's ignorance collided with the truth. The elevator doors slid shut, and silence took hold. Elena leaned slightly against the wall, exhaling slowly. She didn't feel rage. Not now. That would have been too easy, too obvious. She felt focus. Because this wasn't the first time someone had questioned her place. It wouldn't be the last. Her resume didn't erase bias. Her years of study. Her nights lost to legal briefs and case reviews. Her sleepless climbs through an unfair system. None of that stopped men like Burke from thinking she was someone to be turned away at the door. But that was no longer her burden to carry. The elevator chimed. The doors parted to reveal polished floors and wide glass windows. At the end of the hallway, 2 grand oak doors marked the entrance to the chamber. She walked toward them with the composure of someone who had earned every step. As she approached, a voice called softly from behind. "Ms. Morris." It was Delaney. She turned, eyebrows raised. He cleared his throat, clearly unsure of how to proceed. "I just wanted to thank you for how you handled that back there, and to say I'm sorry." Burke was out of line. She looked at him for a long beat, weighing her response. "I appreciate that," she said, "but this happens more than you know." He nodded. "I believe you, and I'll be speaking to him." She offered a brief nod, then turned away. She wasn't here for apologies. She was here to lead. And by the end of this day, no one in this building would need to be told who Elena Morris was. They'd know, and they'd never forget it. In a world where first impressions often shape our opportunities, Elena Morris teaches us something powerful. You don't have to raise your voice to command a room. Sometimes, all you need to do is show up fully prepared and let your truth speak for itself. At first glance, Elena was misjudged, not because of anything she said or did, but simply because of how she looked. A uniformed guard, so sure of his assumptions, attempted to bar her from a building she had every right to enter. He didn't ask questions. He didn't consider alternatives. He relied solely on his assumptions to decide who was worthy of walking through those doors. This is not just about a security checkpoint. It's a mirror reflecting a harsh truth in our society. Those who don't fit the mold of expectation are often asked to prove themselves twice, even when they've already earned their place. But Elena didn't shout. She didn't break down. She stood her ground with quiet dignity and undeniable confidence, armed with preparation and purpose. She knew her worth, and more importantly, she knew that the small-mindedness of others couldn't take it away. That's the heart of the lesson. Prejudice may question your place, but it cannot erase your credentials. Your calm is your power when others expect chaos. The way people treat you before they know who you are says more about them than it ever could about you. This story reminds us that the burden of proof is unjustly heavier for some. Elena didn't just walk into that building. She walked through years of assumptions, microaggressions, and quiet battles that built her into someone unshakable. Her story is not just about getting in the door, but about changing what people expect to see when they open it. We also learned something about redemption through Officer Delaney. He didn't have to approach her again, but he did. His small gesture reminded us that while bias is real, change starts with acknowledgement, no matter how late it comes. In the end, Elena didn't demand respect. She carried herself in a way that made it impossible to deny her.